Hi there, I'm Adam Thompson, Director of Ray White 360 Property Management. Back with another monthly update. A question we've been asked a lot lately is to sell or not to sell. So a lot of investors, they're at a different stage in their investing cycle. And what we've found in the market currently is that it is flat and we have come to the end of a growth cycle, which, as if history repeats itself, which we can see records dating back about 50 years, that every 10 years it does double, but within that 5 years of that 10 years, it's a relatively flat period, and that's what we're seeing now. A couple of things to take into consideration with the changes coming into with the legislation and the Healthy Homes Act, that there is a small outlay that you're going to have to do if you do want to keep your investment property. It's not a small outlay, it's probably around $5,000, but in the scheme of the investments, which are often worth between $500,000 and $1 million, it's a small outlay for a long-term investment. These are things like insulation, moisture, draft stopping standards, and heating. It's one thing to take into consideration. Another thing to take into consideration is ring fencing of losses. This is only going to affect you if you're offsetting your losses in the company against your personal income. Your rental property, if it is negatively geared, can still get losses and carry them forward until your property company is then making a profit, and then it would offset it. Another thing is capital gains tax. Too early to speculate on this, but this is not going to have any effect on any prior gains as far as we know. So I wouldn't be taking this into consideration. I think one of the main things you need to consider is this an investment for long term, or are you coming to the end of your term? Because if you're coming to the end of the term and you're thinking of selling the next 1, 2 or 3 years, I don't believe the market is going to have much growth, and if you don't want to be doing these improvements to your property, then now's the time you should be talking to us, talking to your property manager, and we can get you in touch with one of our Ray White agents in the location of your property. With our relationships on the tenant with minimal disruption, we can give you a good indication of what the market value of your property would be. Taking all this into consideration, what we've found that over the past 12 months, a lot of people have stopped investing in residential property. What this has given us is less rental properties available. It's giving us higher rents, higher yields, and a lot more demand. So it still remains a very healthy investment. If history repeats itself, and my bet is that it will, in Auckland 10 years from now, prices will have doubled, rents will have doubled, more debt will have been repaid, and you'll have a very, very healthy investment. If you've got any questions, want to discuss this any further, please call me anytime.